I become the light, even in the dark. I become the spark that ignites my heart. I become the calm rooted in my chest. I become the truth that cannot be suppressed. I become the strength waking in my bones. I become the force ancient in its tones. I become the clarity no fear denies. I become the rise. I become the rise. I become the rise. I become the fire shaped by steady hands. I become the earth, knowing where it stands. I become the courage, grown from every scar. I become the north, guided by my star. I become the breath, open in my space. I become the peace carved into my face. I become the vision storms can't vaporize. I become the rise. 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 I become the soul walking through the flame. I become the one unafraid to claim. I become the echo calling me ahead. I become the words only truth has said. I become the path bending when I choose. I become the magnet for what I won't lose. I become the knowing in my inner skies. I become the rise. I become the rise. I become the rise. I become the bold when the night feels long. I become the pulse of my future strong. I become the moment I decide to heal. I become the armor only love can steal. I become the depth nothing can replace. I become the light filling every space. I become the answer my own heart replies. I become the rise. I become the rise. I become the rise. I rise in the silence. I rise in the storm. I rise when I'm breaking. I rise when I'm born. I rise through the echoes. I rise through the cries. I rise through the shadows. I rise, I rise. I become the force rising from my core. I become the courage I was searching for. I become the power written in my name. I become the light no darkness can claim. I become the grace woven in my climb. I become the rhythm beating into time. I become the truth that never compromises. I become the rise. 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 you.